Types of errors. Objective: to study about various types of errors in a measurement. Errors are broadly categorized as systematic errors and random errors. The systematic errors are those errors that tend to be in one direction, either positive or negative. For example, consider 2-meter scales that are calibrated incorrectly. One of the scale's actual length is 99 centimeters only, but it is marked wrongly and used as a meter scale. If you use this scale to measure the length of an object, it always gives a reading that is more than the actual length. The error tends to be positive for any measurement made with this scale. Similarly, another scale is of length 101 centimeters, but the markings on it suggest otherwise. If you use this scale to measure the length of an object, it will always give a reading that is lesser than the actual length. The error tends to be negative for any measurement made with this scale. This is an example of instrumental error. Instrumental errors arise from the errors due to imperfect design or calibration of the measuring instrument. It can also arise due to zero error in the instrument. For example, in a vernier caliper, when there is no object between the jaws, 0 of the main scale should coincide with the 0 of the vernier scale. Otherwise, the instrument gives an incorrect reading. The second source of systematic errors is an imperfection in experimental technique or procedure. To determine the temperature of a human body, a thermometer placed under the armpit will always give a temperature lower than the actual value of the body temperature. Other external conditions, such as changes in external temperature, humidity, wind velocity, etc., during the experiment may systematically affect the measurement. One more source of systematic errors is personal bias. It arises due to an individual's bias, lack of proper setting of the apparatus, or an individual's carelessness in taking the observations. One example of personal bias in measurement is parallax error. If you, by habit, hold your head a bit too far from the right or left, while reading the position of a needle on the scale, you will introduce an error due to parallax. Systematic errors can be minimized by improving experimental techniques, selecting better instruments, and removing personal bias as far as possible. Random errors. Random errors are those errors which occur irregularly and randomly. They are not in our control. For example, when the same person repeats the same observation, it is very likely that he may get different readings every time. It is caused by inherently unpredictable fluctuations in the readings of the measurement apparatus. Random errors can be reduced by repeating the experiment and averaging multiple readings. Least count error is one type of a random error. Least count error depends on the precision of the instrument. For example, a digital balance exhibit random error in their least significant digit. 3 measurements of a single object might read something like 8.113 grams, 8.114 grams, and 8.115 grams.